it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. No,
Empty-handed, I was born. Empty-handed, I will ascend. Blade or bullet, fist or bow. Spear, stone, or arrow. These are merely tools. I am the one to fear.
Battle maps. We will have the return of Ground War, but we've got a new large-scale mode that you've alluded to, right? Let's talk Invasion.
So Invasion is it's a big war map. It's Big War TDM, or we affectionately call it the shipment of Ground War. It's 20v20 players, but there's also 20 AI on each team. AI are coming in fast roping. They're coming in on medium birds. And it's this high action mode. It's super fun, but it's also really chill. The announcer's not barking at you. He's not saying like, hey, get to B, you know, they're taking C. You can kind of play it how you want to play it. You sit up on a rooftop and snipe. You can grab a shotgun and go room clearing. If you push too far into the enemy's base, AI will come hunt you. But we've also been really conscious of where we put AI in multiplayer. We didn't put AI in kill streaks or anything like that because we don't want AI showing up in search and destroy. We don't want AI in domination. This mode, though, however, was built for AI, and it's a super fun mode. Can't wait for people to try it.
Kind of a funny aside, you know, we took the name Ground War from a playlist in MW2, and that was just large-scale TDM and DOM. And we kind of did the DOM in the last game, and now we're able to add kind of the sandbox TDM, and so we're kind of completing the cycle of that that old playlist.
Yeah.
Well, this large-scale stuff looks amazing. This looks so awesome. And okay, so what about the new 6v6 modes? Just keep dialing it in closer and closer. Steph, what have we got?
Yeah, so we also have 2 new 6v6 modes that you're going to be seeing here played today, and they will be in beta in Prisoner Rescue and Knockout.
Prisoner Rescue. Okay, let's go into Prisoner Rescue first, Joe.
So Prisoner Rescue is an attack and defend mode. It's a round-based mode. The defenders have 2 prisoners. They're kind of spread out, and they need to keep hold of them. The goal of the attackers is to get to those prisoners, pick them up, and carry them to exfil. When you pick them up, you enter what's called a wounded carry, where they're up on your shoulders and you can't use your primary weapons. Instead, you have to use a pistol if you brought it, or you're just stuck with fists. But the way that we give the attackers an advantage once they grab that prisoner is they get a radar sweep for their team, so they can call out where the defenders are. And the objective icon over the prisoner goes away as soon as they scoop them up. So now the defenders have to basically rotate back to the exfil and set up defensive positions. And it's this heart-pounding, adrenaline-pushing like mode once you grab that prisoner and try and get them out.
Yeah, that hero run to exfil is
definitely you know, big S&D energy in this mode, which resonates with me in my time in esports. So this is my personal favorite of the new ones, and also sort of the strategic revives that happen. There is a revive mechanic, and so you are able to pick up your teammates, and I've seen some pretty wild comebacks in our playtest so far.
It was a lot of fun. We got to play a tiny bit yesterday. It was amazing. Incredibly fun, and I know the community is going to love diving into it over the next week. Okay, I can hardly believe that there's actually a lot more content to get through, but there's one more thing I have to bring up. I have the honor of officially announcing that third-person view is finally coming to Modern Warfare 2. What are the details behind this one? We got a little teaser of it on stage from Patro, but what are the details?
Yeah, you saw a little hint of it in the trailer, too. It's been a pet project for us, right? We've always wanted to do third-person, and all while we're working on all this other stuff, we've been kind of lifting up and doing third person in each mode. And the cool thing is that it's a modifier on our game, right? We can just turn on third person. In the beta, we'll be playing it in Hardpoint, but we want to try it post-launch in S&D. We want to try it in VR. And we have, you know, camera work. The camera collision's been reworked. It handles tight spaces. There's a water camera. There's an interior camera. You can feel the weapon shake when you're firing with it. And it's just, we've put a lot of work into it, and we're excited for people to give it a try.
Incredible. I can't wait to see what third-person COD feels like in 2022. Sexy skins and everything. This is a lot of information, Steph. Like, there's a ton here.
I tried to warn you. We're delivering a lot of new features for you guys to try out ahead of release. And I said we were going to be bold with this beta, and we are, but there's even more to come at launch. So this is just a taste.
How is this just a taste? How can there be even more? I mean,
we haven't even got to Warzone yet.
Not even okay. Okay, so what about this year's third mode?
So I'm happy to say that Special Ops will return as our third mode, and will be focused on two-player missions, asymmetrical in game design. So think one player on air support, one player on the ground, and I think the OG fans will be really excited because we've looked at, you know, some of the iconic Modern Warfare missions like Overwatch, and really tried to implement some of those themes into the design. So we'll be talking more about Special Ops in the months to come.
Steph, you're saying I should be looking now for a Special Ops partner.
Sitting right next to
We've got our tools to play with, equipment, weapons, maps and modes, though. Let's get into this one. Let's get into the design team, you know, the philosophy, I suppose, behind building out maps. But Jeff, this is for you.
Yeah, you know, right from the start, we knew we wanted to build another big map, not only for Battle Royale, but also for this other mode that we've been working on for quite a long time.
I read about that on the internet.
Ah, yes.
But, you know, when you lay out these big maps, it's kind of a collection of all these little POIs, these points of interest. And within each of these, we've really fine-tuned that they can play large-scale core modes like Ground War, and a bunch of others really well. And so, you know, stepping back from this large map and looking at how much open world sandboxy gameplay that we have, we looked back at our 6v6 maps and really tried to refine and make them a tighter experience to contrast all this big world kind of exploratory gameplay. So the maps for 6v6, in comparison to the last game, they're just a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more refined, and I think fans will really enjoy how quick they play.
That sounds...
A lot of diversity in those maps as well. A lot of visual variety, some colorful maps in there, and I think they feel really clean.
Guys, you're moving me in ways I didn't imagine to be moved today. Excellent stuff.
Cry?
I might. Hey, it's the first time for everything here on air. We've got some of the maps that we are going to be seeing in MW2. Starting with one, we've got a real fun one here, guys. This is one of the aforementioned battle maps. Team, can you give me some details on Sarif Bay?
So Sarif Bay is this little fishing town in the south coast of our big map, and we picked this because it has such a great mix of gameplay. It's right on a harbor, so we get to show off all our boats and our new amphibious APC, and, you know, swimming, as we've already said. But what you get inside the town is this really intense urban combat with all these tight little alleyways and all this great rooftop combat. And mixed with our ledge hang, you get these really cool parkour combat action happening.
Yeah, I love how you describe the rooftops there on this map specifically as like a separate ecosystem. You can kind of migrate that entire vertical.
You can go up there and just hang out and fight other snipers.
All right, well, that looks fantastic. Jeff, okay, so that's one of our larger maps. What about some of the 6v6 maps? I think we have some footage of one of the new maps that we're going to be seeing today, named Mercado Las Almas. Do you mind giving us some details on this one?
Sure. Mercado is a little street market in a historic section in Mexico. Our story behind this is, the authorities have some intel that narcotics are being smuggled out of a warehouse, and they're going in trying to find and seize them. This map plays really fast and a lot of action right down that center lane. The Mercado is a very dangerous neck of the woods, so watch out when you're playing in the beta. It plays fast.
Cannot wait, really cannot wait. Looks fantastic, and again, interesting to see how that ties into campaigns and whatnot. All sorts of fun and games ahead of us. Looks amazing. Battle maps, core maps, 6v6, all this looks fantastic. But let's go back to modes. So we've seen some maps.
But we really pushed forward even the most fundamental aspects of what makes a Call of Duty game with Modern Warfare 2, and it's been really amazing for me to come on board this past year and see these innovations coming to life, to hear Jeff jump into, breaking down the 1v1. And personally for me, water. Our water, I've seen the memes, we love water. It's really hard to make in games. But the aquatic combat, some of the things you're able to do with vehicles in the water, I think that level of immersion is really going to speak to fans and has been something that I've really enjoyed playing the last couple months.
Aquatic combat. Steph loves to swim. Joe,
sure
can we go into some details about our water-based adventures in MW2?
Yeah, I mean, last game we really wanted to add water, and we knew we didn't have time, right? So in Verdansk, we froze the rivers and we made the outskirts just a kill trigger. In this game, as soon as we started Modern Warfare 2, we leaned into water, both visually, beautiful caustics, there's waves with white caps, but we also, the gameplay side, there's unique ballistics underwater. You only can use certain weapons underwater. Your pistol is your weapon underwater, otherwise you can't use your primary weapons. But it's also a nice cover or evasion mechanic. If you're getting shot at, you can dive into the water, and as you get deeper, it gets murkier. Like the farther you are from something, you can't see it. And so it's been super fun for us to dig into water and really flex on what water could be in Call of Duty. And you saw the boats and the mine that floats, and every piece of equipment has been filtered. Like, how does it work through water? Like, we had to look at everything in the game and say, how does it work in water? What's the best version?
Our vehicles will just slowly submerge like they really would instead of blinking out.
Yeah, everything.
A lot of details.
The behaviors are awesome.
Oh my God! Well, I can't quite wait to literally dip my toes into those waters. But guys, let's not forget about the ground and the air. Like, I mean, what else is going to be coming to the movement system? Joe, what do we got?
Well, last game we did mount, and we had slide, and even though we're a military shooter, fluid movement is super important to us. So this game, as you saw in the trailer, you can see here on the video, we have a new ledge hang mechanic, and that's essentially a high mantle. But instead of doing a high mantle and throwing yourself up over into combat, you can now peek. If you have a pistol, you can pull that pistol out and use that. We also added a dive. Last game we had the slide that kept your gun up, but we really wanted players to have an option where if they're getting shot at, they don't know where they're getting shot at, they can get down, get out of fire. But the other really cool thing is the dive's just high enough to let you get through a window. And so if you throw a grenade up into a building's second story, often you'll see players, like rats leaving a ship, diving out through the windows. And it's just another option for players in combat.
Yeah, and all of these dynamic movements mean you can interact with vehicles specifically in a very cool way. I'm going to save some of that gas for when we get to Warzone 2.0, but it's really exciting.
All right, vehicle details to come. But now, guys, let's talk about equipment. Obviously, Call of Duty, crazy sandbox, a lot of cool toys to play with. Joe, what are some of the new dynamite new items that we're going to be throwing at each other and equipping and using and all sorts in the next game?
I mean, you saw some cool stuff in the trailer. You saw the drill charge, you saw the shock stick. One of the other cool ones you saw is the inflatable decoy. And this is a mine that you can throw out, and it basically sits there, and if a player gets close to it, it auto-deploys and basically inflates like a car airbag going off. And it faces the person that triggered it, and so it's a great distraction technique. You can also fire it off with a clacker if you want to control when it goes off. You can throw it in water, and here you just saw the DDoS. We added all this equipment into this game, and the DDoS is our kind of answer of like, hey, I'm going to breach this building. I want to go clean house, but I don't want to deal with all the shit inside. So I'm going to hit the DDoS. Boom! It's going to shut down everything, and I can move in, and clear that room. You saw the heartbeat sensor is back. It's got a new look. but it also has a battery as a balancing mechanic, so you can't use it indefinitely in Warzone. And there's so
This is
much
the TAC
more.
cam too, which
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
just saw, which to me is my personal favorite.
You can put out a lot of them, and
Yeah.
even you can patch into your teammates. So you can. It gets a little crazy.
Yeah, kind of like a sticky GoPro, but will actually mark your enemies for your team.
Yeah.
So it's. I expect to see a lot of fun
There's so
moments
many
with that today.
so many toys and new tools that we just want players to get in and play with. I think there's something like 13 field upgrades, you know, between Warzone and Core MP, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh my god. Until they all get
We got intel reports of Hassan and the cartel forming terrorist cells all over the globe.
We've never seen activity on this scale before.
They have an army, but we have each other.
The world is a vampire.
Locate the prisoners and move them to extraction. Enemies above! Field charge! Eyes on the hostage. You're gonna be okay.
Hostage secure.
Sniper! On cover! Keep going! Gotcha! Airstrike! Take cover!
Do not let them cross the border.
Take him out! Get ready, team! We have never seen a war zone like this!
The world is a vampire.
They're behind us! Drop stick out! Enemy healer!
Take out that boat!
Check mark 6! Check mark 6!
I'm on my way.
The world is a vampire.
Pre-order now and get early access to the open beta.